Before going to New York, I first moved to Amsterdam. I was 16 and a half, and I went to work in a family-owned business. I grew up in the restaurant business pretty much, and that was one of the things that I wanted to do. You know, I was practicing my English, and I remember going around with this mini dictionary, a pocket dictionary, and, trying to find the word, and I talked to everybody. I wanted to learn English, and it really was an obsession for me. I remember leaving voicemails to my cell phone to hear the pronunciation and, how I spoke. And I remember not really liking my voice, but, it was really interesting to do that, with the love and the passion and the eagerness to do something, to learn something. But then the time came. And after a few years living in Amsterdam, I managed somehow to come to New York City. I was the happiest woman alive. And that was on a Wednesday. I remember like it was yesterday. And on Friday, I purchased my ticket to New York. And on Tuesday, the following week, I was on my plane to New York. I arrived to New York and it was magical. Everything that I dreamed of, was here. I used to go around and walk miles and miles and miles, the entire city. I wanted to see everything, the Twin Towers, the Empire State Building, Times Square, which later became disappointing, but, And then I looked for a job and I found a job right away. Within a week that I was here, I found a job. 3 months were up. I was working in this restaurant, but 3 months were up and I really had to go back. I wasn't ready, to just stay. I was trying to figure it out ways to come back and to be in New York and to do it properly, I remember going back to Amsterdam and then visiting my hometown, Italy, for a couple of weeks, and then coming back to New York. Once I arrived in New York, one of the officers stopped me, checking my passport, and directed me to a different room. I was so terrified, and they checked every single thing I had in my suitcase, everything. They looked in my books, they looked page by page, everything. And they found a little piece of paper where I wrote down the immigration's number. And the officer asked me, why do you have this number? And I was like, well, I wanted to ask what to do and how to properly, be here. And I really loved it here. And I decided to come back. He decided to let me go. And so I walked out of the airport and promised myself I'm never leaving again.